Hello everyone, welcome to this lesson. My name is Grant from Subgang Corporation. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to answer this WAEC question. This is a 2015 WAEC question, and this type of question is similar to data processing also. The question says, using database application program, create a database called Supermarket. Okay, so the one database application program that we are going to be using to answer this question is Microsoft Access. Microsoft Access is a database management system, and this is a database management system in our disposal. We can also do this with Excel, because of the instruction given below. We are going to be using Microsoft Access to answer this question. So without saying more, let's dive into it. I'm going to launch Microsoft Access on my system. I'll just click on the start button and now look for Microsoft Access. It's Access 2013. I will be using Access 2007, this very one here. So I'll just go ahead and launch it. By now, you should know how to launch Microsoft Access, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word on your computer. I'm not going to show us how to do that one on this tutorial. Now, the next thing we need to do after launching this database management system is to create our database. Look at that. They say we should create a database called Supermarket. So we're going to create a database by clicking on this office button. How do you do that? Click on this office button, go to new, and this text box will appear. Then we'll call it a Supermarket. Okay, and we'll click on create. Alright, so the next thing we need to do after that is we need to create a table called beverages with the following data. So now that we have created our database, one element of a database is table. So we need to create a table. But if you observe very well, by default, that Microsoft Access already created a default table for us, table 1, called table 1. And this table has just one field, ID. But we don't need it. We need to create our own field in our own table. Okay, so our table need to bear the name beverage and not table 1. So what I need to do is to right click. I'll just right click on this table right here. I right click on it and go to design view. Okay, I go to design view. Then the access will ask me to give the table a name. So I will just call the table beverages. Okay, now click OK. So right at this view, we need to design our table. Just like what we have here on the question, we need to create a field for product name, product ID, quantity per unit, unit price, and so on. So it is on this view that we need to do all that. So from here, we're going to call this. These are going to be our first field called product name. Remember, this is our design view. Okay, so product name. And if you look at this data, the data type in the product name, these are test data, test. So I will change the data type to test and not auto number. Change it to test. Then the next field we need to create is product ID. And the data type is going to be number. Let's use number as a data type, because the content of it is numbers. So the next is quantity per unit. Quantity per unit. And the data type, we are going to use text, because the content comprises of number, alphabet. And if you look at this one, this one number and alphabet. So we'll leave it as text so that you can accommodate this type of data. So leave it as text. The next thing we need to do, next field you need to create is unit price. To create another field called unit price. And the data type, we are going to use number as the data type, not currency, because if we use currency, we are going to have problem. We'll be seeing the currency in dollar and pounds, but we don't want that. Okay, we want we want the price to display the way it is, but with the decimal values there. So I will just indicate the unit price shows that they are in naira. So I'll just type n here and leave it at number. Then we can change the feed size. We'll leave the feed size the way it is, but if we want these decimal numbers to appear, then we'll need to change the format. Change the format to let's change it to standard. Standard will give us that decimal values functionality. Then one more thing, let me just say this. They didn't ask us to do it, but let me just say it. If we want to reduce the feed size, this feed size at the default is 255. They didn't ask us to do that, but let me just show us. If you look at this first record T on the product name, we have T as the product as the data item. So if we want to reduce the feed size of this, if you look at it, if we want the feed size to accommodate exactly what is inside, then we look at the largest character of this column is I think it's beef, def coffee. If we count the characters here, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Okay, while this one is let's count this and see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9. So if we want, we can go back to our design view and set the feed size to, let's say, 15. This is how you set your feed size of a particular feed in a database management system using Microsoft Access. Okay, but we are not told to do this, so we'll just leave it the way it is. And we'll save, we'll close this, then open the table again. So this is our table with the feed or design, feed name. They're all there. So I'll just adjust all this. Okay, so I will go ahead and add the data on the table. The first one is T with product ID of 1. You know what, I will just pause this video and go ahead and add those data. I will come back when I'm through adding the data. Okay, I've added all the data. Let me just explain this in case you are having problem in adding this data. There's something we did. Look at that. Let me explain. I'm sure you'll be having this problem. If I want to add another record, let's assume I want to add another record here, and I do not add any value on this field. Let's say I come here and add, let's say this is a product ID with 56, and quantity per unit will have let's say 60 gram per bottle, and unit price will have 450 naira. So if I press enter, that means I want to move to the next record here. Just observe what will happen. Press enter. Look at that. They say index of primary key cannot contain a null value. Null value means empty value. Right. The reason this is happening is because on our design view, when we are designing this table, we left this field as a primary key, and every primary key must contain a value, because what it means is that if we want to identify any record on this table, we can use the primary key to identify that record. And how can you identify a record that has no value in the primary feed? So that's why we're having this issue. So on our design view, we set the product name as a primary key, so, which means this primary key must contain a value, even if there is nothing on these ones, but there must be a value here. Alright, so in order to correct that, if you're having that problem, I will just press escape. Press escape on your keyboard to cancel this record that you want to enter. Press escape on your keyboard. We'll just go back to our design view and click this design view. You can just remove this primary key, just remove it. Click on this feed and press the primary key, it will come back. If you click on the feed again, press the primary key to go away. Okay, and we save it and go back there. So right now you can add those values. Let's say I have this and I have that gram per tin 450. I see that it's working, so I can come and add another one. Maybe this one I have let's see, mayonnaise, for example. I hope I got that. So I can even skip here and come to this place and add that. Alright. But in this lesson, we'll just stick with this set of value that was given to us in the questions. So I'll just delete this. I'll come to this place. I'll click this record and delete. Yes. Click on this record, press delete button on your keyboard and say yes. Okay. So we'll stick with a set of value that was given to us in the question. So in this question, if you're able to do it up to this point, you have 3 marks. Okay, you have 3 marks out of 15 marks. So the next task is to create a report shown below. We need to create a report as shown below. This is as shown below. Alright, so we need to create something that look like this with Microsoft Access. How do we do that? First, we'll go back to our Microsoft Access. If we want, we'll click on create. Then we'll use report wizard. There are so many tools you can use to create this report, but let's use report wizard for the purpose of this lesson. So I'll click on report wizard. Then the table query, since we just have one table, we see the table will be shown on this feed here. Assuming we have multiple tables, then we can click on this arrow and select which table we want to create a report for. So we'll leave it at this one. Then available feed. Now we need the feed that will show on our report. We need to select the feed that will, for example, if we wanted to display report for just 2 feed as product name and product ID, we'll just click this one and press enter, click this one and click this other button. That will all. But since we want every feed to show on the report, we'll select all of them, click this and that, and it will move to this other side. These are the feed that will show on our report. Click on next. Next, what do you want to add? Do you want to add any grouping level? No, we don't want to add any grouping level. Click on next. Next, what sort order do you want for your record? We don't want any sorting. So if you look at it, they didn't say we should sort it, so we'll leave it the way it is. Say no, go to next. How would you like to lay out your report? Let's just leave it at tabular layout. Then the orientation will leave it at portrait. Then make sure you tick this button. Make sure you tick this button right here. Alright. So check this text box. This is a checkbox here. It says adjust the feed width. So all feed fit on a page. So click on next. What style would you like? We'll just leave it. I can select any style. This is the one that will show you your design, outlook, the colors. We'll just leave it at office. Okay, and move to next. But yes, we want to preview the report right away. So we'll check this one and go to finish. So this is our report. This is what our report look like. Alright, so this is our report view. We are viewing the report. We are finished designing it. So this is how it's going to look like for us to print it out on paper. Alright, so I think we'll have to I think we need to add some more things on the report. We need to add some more things. First, we'll go back to design view of this report. Go back to the design view. So I'll close the print preview. Click this button, close it. Then this is the design view. Now on this view, I'll just adjust this a little bit. On this view, the first thing we need to do, if I go back to the report view, if I right click on this and go to report view, first of all, if you look at this, I want this product ID column to be on the right hand side or center. See the way they are, look at their position, it's not looking beautiful. So we want to change the position to align it to the right hand side or center alignment. So I right click back on this and go to design view. First I'll click on this one, click on this and select here, click on this, select here, this one there. Alright, let's go back to report view and see what we have done. Okay, did you save it? We have to save it. After that we save. Go back to this report view. Okay, design view. let's adjust this one a little bit. Alright. Alright. So let's go back to report view. Okay, this is what we have now. So you see the position of the product ID have changed. It looked more better like this. Okay. So let's go back to design view and see what we have next to do. Let's bring up our tags. The tags. After creating that report, if you have done that, you have formats added to your trimmer, that is 7/15. So here we have the next task. Use your full name and index number as the footer in the report. So this is supposed to be as, excuse me, yeah. So use your full name and index number as the footer in the report. So we'll need to add a report footer. Alright. So from here, we're going to add a report footer. Just add a label. Just bring it here and adjust it. I'll just write, let's assume your full name is John Matthew and you have the registration number as 04339087. Okay, so let's assume this is your full name and your registration number. Just we are using it as a footer on the look at the report footer. Alright, so that's where you're going to add it. Excuse me. So we'll go back to the report view, and there, that's what we have. So we have. Okay. So let's see what next we have from our tags. If you do this, you have 2 marks added. So save your work on a suitable storage media, print out the hard copy of your report, and of course submit it. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is just save this whole thing. So of course our reports have been saved for us, and is to save this database file on a storage device, on a suitable storage device. Usually you'll be given a CD plate or a flash drive, so you need to save your work on that CD plate, which will be submitted to WAEC, or on the flash drive. Okay, but how do you do that? Just plug your flash drive on the system. Just plug your flash drive on the system, then go and locate this file. Normally this file is stored, this database file is stored on documents. So we just open document and look for supermarket. Remember, we use supermarket as the database name. Look at that, supermarket. So just look for supermarket. We'll type X. I'll type X first. X. Okay, good. So there it is. Yes, supermarket. So I'll just copy this file. I'll copy it, then open my flash drive, whatever media you're using, just open it and paste it inside, and you're done. Then don't forget to print this one out. Just click on a report view. Let's open design view first, then go to report view. Don't forget to print it out. Okay, so yeah, you can click and go to print view. So on this, you just plug in your printer and click on print. After you do that, then you select your printer here. Your printer will display here. Select it here and click OK, and your report will be printed on the hard copy, and you just submit it. I think having said that, I think that is the end of this task. The last task said on your printout, use ink to list the types of data in the record. So this one you're going to write it with biro on your printout. So if you want to answer that, the types of data, let me just go back to design view. From our table, go to design view and so that you see the types of data. Oh, I think our table is still open, so I will just close this report, go to design view. Okay, so here the data, one of the data types we have is text, number. It's just 2 data types we have, text and numbers. That's what the question says. I should list the types of data in the record. Alright, I think that is all. Thank you very much for watching this lesson, and I hope to see you soon. Don't forget, if you have any question or criticism, if you want to comment on the video, criticism is welcome. Please go ahead, go to my YouTube channel or to my website, and my website is www.softgrant.ds.am. Alright, go to my website and for more information. Thank you very much, and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.